May 1993, as well as June and July, because I didn't read a lot in those 3 months. Don't know why. I think I was still a mason tender. This may be the summer where I left that job and became a roofer, but I don't recall exactly when those things happened. But there's only one book in May, one in June, and three in July. So I decided to put all of these together into one video. And we'll get into it right now. So in May, the one book I read was Sacrifice by Andrew Vax. This is another Burke book, and in this one, there's a serial killer named called Satan's Child, and Burke is hired to figure out who it is, stop them, I guess. He meets a voodoo priestess who seems to have this group of child assassins, and Burke's out there. Burke's doing his thing. Love the Burke books as always. Just great stuff. I mean, that character, the living under the radar and helping children. That's what's not to like. Sacrifice, Andrew Vax. Another book I need to pick up and reread. But that was it for May of 1993, so we move on to June of 1993, and the only book I read in June was Book of the Dead, edited by John Skipp and Craig Spector. This is a zombie anthology, perhaps the first zombie anthology ever published. I've seen that bandied about. Don't know if it's true or not. But again, this is a bunch of short stories. It's a great book. I do not have a copy, which is really annoying. They're very hard to come by. But it's got, Stephen King, Ramsey Campbell, Robert R. McCammon, David J. Scow, just all sorts of different authors and all sorts of different types of stories. You've got your sort of classic George Romero type zombie stories, and then there's just really off the wall kinds of zombie stories. A great mix of different things. I don't recall, because there is a second Book of the Dead that'll show up eventually on this list. But one of them, and I don't remember if it's the first one or the second one, has a story called Less Than Zombie, which is a pastiche, would that be the right term, of Less Than Zero, which I believe is Bret Easton Ellis, and it's written in that style. I've never read the book. I've seen the movie, but it's just got that sort of it gets those characters down. If I remember Less Than Zero, it's about drug addiction and malaise and ennui, and it's sort of the ennui of being a zombie. So that's possibly in this one. Might be in volume 2, but I don't know. Anyway, that's what I read in June of 1993. Book of the Dead. Great zombie anthology. Really need to try to hunt down an affordable copy. But let's move on to July of 1993. So the first book I read in July of 1993, I actually have a copy of this book, but it is buried, and I do not feel like digging it out. But it is Tarzan of the Apes by Edgar Rice Burroughs. I absolutely love this book. I've read it multiple times, and it's right over there. I can see it, but it's covered. It's a pile that's on top of the bookshelf, but it's in between two other piles. And yeah, I didn't feel like digging it out. Sorry, folks. I'd love to show you the cover. It's one of my favorite covers. All of my Tarzan books have the same edition, same art style, but it's a fantastic cover. It's a great book. Do I need to tell anybody what this book is about? There's a young couple. They're on a ship. The woman is pregnant. The crew mutinies, and they drop this couple off on the coast of Africa, and then they just take off and abandon them. And the woman gives birth, but she ends up dying. And then some apes. Did the apes kill the father dies? Um, and then there's some apes, some great apes, and Kala has a baby that ends up dead, but she still carries it around. But when they go and check out this cabin where these humans were, I think they kill the dad at that point. It's been a while since I've read it. But Kala swaps out her dead baby for this human baby, and we have Tarzan raised by the great apes. And so this is his origin story, and we meet Jane and all these other characters, and I was fascinated the first time I read it to learn that Tarzan actually learned French before he learned English, because he rescues this guy who's a Frenchman who can speak English, but French is his native tongue, and he figures if he's going to teach someone to speak, he'll teach French. It's going to be easier for everybody. So I thought that was interesting. I like how they identify who Tarzan is. Some of the ideas might not hold up, but love this book. Such a great series, such a great character. Tarzan of the Apes. Next up, book number 2 for July of 1993 is Sex Crimes by Alice Vax. She is the wife of Andrew Vax. She was basically a sex crimes DA in New York, if I remember correctly. For anyone who watches Law and Order SVU, she would be the Cabot or Casey Novak or any of those other characters. The DA that works exclusively with the sex crimes unit. And this is a nonfiction book, and it's about her time working as the DA with the sex crimes unit. And I actually recognized some of the real cases that she talks about. There are pieces of those, bits of those, fictionalized versions of those in some of Andrew Vax's work, and I believe in some episodes of SVU. But it's fascinating and heartbreaking. But if you're a Law and Order SVU fan, I think this is a must-read. If you're interested in the justice system and how it deals with children who are victims and the scumbags that victimize children, it's a tough read, but it's a fantastic book. And then finally, July 1993, we have Tourist Season by Carl Hiaasen. That's how I've always said his name, and I'm sticking to it until someone tells me different. And in this, somebody is killing, tourists and tour promoters. They want Florida sort of returned to its heyday, its pristine condition, and they think the tourists, the snowbirds, all these people are ruining Florida, and so they're killing them and trying to not just get rid of these people, but create an atmosphere where people won't want to come down to Florida. There's a killer alligator. Well, is it a killer alligator, or just maybe it just eats the people that the killer kills? It's been a while since I've read it. Funny, but not necessarily as funny as some of his other, Carl Hiaasen's other stuff. Maybe a bit darker than some of his other stuff, but still entertaining. I really dug a lot of his early work. It's been a long time since I've read any Carl Hiaasen, but when I was reading his stuff, I was really digging it. So that is it. That's 3 months right there. May, June, and July 1993. I think it's a decent mix of stuff. We've got a sort of a funny crime thriller book. We've got a classic pulp novel, one of the greatest pulps ever written. We got some zombie stuff. We got the Burke books. Mysteries, thrillers. I'm not sure exactly what category they would fall under. And then some nonfiction. Pretty good, I think. Let's see. Coming up, I'm probably going to put August and September together because there's only 2 books in each of those months. But then it looks like I don't know what the hell happened. I must have been that point where I was laid off because of weather. Because October, November, December, I read a lot of stuff in each of those months. But yeah, so the next video will probably be August, September together. And I guess my question for this video would be, what do you think of that? Putting some months together. I know I mentioned it before, but I think this is only the second time I've done it. So next video will be the third. Do you care? Does it matter? I just can't see, making a video to talk about one single book since it's not like a full review and all that stuff. And I'm just going over my memories. But let me know what you think. Does anybody even care about it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have any comments, questions, corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. And please like, share, and subscribe. You know all that YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, I'm tossing my stuff to the side. If you care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, and occasionally things like new t-shirts, which I just ordered a lot of. But if you want to see that stuff on Instagram, it's Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. That is all I have for you this week. So until next week, read more books.